we're going to go to the next one. This one's going to be a lot more lighthearted, and it won't be 38 minutes long. So, this is from Cindy Sins. So what? How do I say your name? Sinsnap. I think that's her name. It's not really Sin, but like the way she wrote it. Like it's supposed to be like Cindy, but Sin snaps or something. So she's recommending. This is an anime recommendation, so it's horror stuff. So, top 5 manga that are horror.
Hey guys, it's
Ryaga-sama.
Oh.
That's Sydney.
Oh my god, she just destroyed my ear. Okay, that was not needed. God. Sydney, that's okay, we'll just refer to her as Sydney. Or Snap.
And happy Halloween! I decided in honor of the spoopy holiday to talk about one of my favorite genres in every form of media, and that is horror. But obviously, in this case, horror manga. I have been beyond excited to talk about one of my favorite genres in this medium, and some of my favorite series.
Wait a second. Were you in some weird, crazy YouTube drama by watching reaction videos? Or I'm thinking of someone completely different. Yeah, I think she was blonde too, unless this is the same person. Wasn't she in some type of YouTube drama where she'll watch reactions and she'll get in trouble because she's not supposed to watch the full episode on YouTube or some crap, and she'll get like a bunch of DMCA stuff?
Series within it.
I don't remember.
But I could never really find the proper time to talk about it. But now since Halloween is coming up, this is perfect. One of my favorite things about fiction is that it can make you feel things, even though you know it's not real. So if you can feel...
She don't react.
Okay, so I'm thinking someone different.
Fear and be uncomfortable from something you know isn't really there.
That's someone else.
It's kind of like a miracle, isn't it? These manga that I have chosen that I am about to be talking about have achieved that for me, and are good series that if you are looking for something similar, you should start reading as well. Now on to this first. The first horror manga that I just knew I had to include in this video is called Pumpkin Night. Pumpkin Night is a series that was clearly inspired from cheesy hack and slash horror movies like Halloween or I Know What You Did Last Summer. The plot where you can kind of turn off your brain and just enjoy it. So if the plot is cheesy, why should you read it? Well, the answer is simple. Why do we watch those cheesy hack and slash horror movies? For the gore. And I can tell you one thing. If there's one thing that Pumpkin Night puts everything else to shame, it's its gore factor. The plot is very simple. A girl starts murdering off a group of kids who bullied her and deformed her face by committing a vicious prank with a pumpkin head that she now wears when slaughtering them. Very rarely have I
don't call that a hack and slash, I call that revenge.
Ever seen a manga quite so...
If anything...
NGL, this manga was so over the top, gritting face with sweat.
I'm gonna call it John Wick's with pumpkin spice.
JR. Gotta run to D&D, take care.
Alright, later, bro. Thank you for coming.
Detailed when it comes to murder. Hell, this might be the only time I've ever seen it. And each panel that I seem to see always seems to make me feel physically ill because of how just detailed it is. I mean, the murderer's weapon is literally a knife with a pumpkin carver at the end. I think we can all imagine how graphic a death could be with a fucking pumpkin carver. Within the first few pages, you can see her gouge out a girl's eyes with it, and it ain't pleasant. And although the story is just your typical gore plot, that doesn't mean it's bad either. It does have some twists and turns, and although character development isn't really a thing in it, it does have some very good revenge elements. So if you're looking for a good old-fashioned Halloween horror manga to read, I recommend you read this one. Now, if you are looking for something a bit more thought-provoking and don't really mind the social commentary side of things, then I think Starving Anonymous is the one you need to pick up. A story of a group of boys waking up in a facility where humans are being bred and fattened up to be fed to aliens and are trying to escape said facility. Clearly, this is a
Promise Neverland.
Social commentary on how we humans fatten up and breed animals to later consume. And hell, I was half expecting to just rage quit this manga because I don't need another vegan thing to tell me I'm a shit person for what I eat. But I was clearly very wrong. Wrong in the fact that I thought I would rage quit. It really opened my eyes to the horrors of mass meat production with the best way I can relate. And that is with the meat being humans. And although I am a meat eater, seeing the boys try to escape the facility and seeing some of the parts that they had to come across did leave me a bit traumatized. For instance,
like a lot of us,
Commercial.
I used to get confidence from external. This is
where the boys happen upon the breeding room where they inject the males with a drug that makes them have sex until they die of heart failure. The woman is drugged with aphrodisiacs to ensure that she has as many children as possible until she's used up and dies. And if that somehow sounds sexy to you, it is quite the opposite. Seeing how their bodies are torn down, how they go crazy and die horrible, painful deaths while pumped full of estrogen and hormones, felt very nauseating. And that was just something in the beginning. Of course, the horror element doesn't just lie in the mass meat production, but also of the boys trying to escape a facility where aliens are trying to devour them mercilessly. We also have to slowly figure out why there are aliens there. What are they there for? It is a very well-written horror action suspense manga.
Guys, I'm gonna just turn off TikTok. It really makes no sense anymore. Like, I'm gonna just turn off. There's only 3 people there. There's not really anything. So, I'm gonna let you guys go, TikTok. I'm out. Later, TikTok. Or if you want to come over here on YouTube, you can watch the YouTube thing that we're reacting to. So, I'm gonna turn you off, TikTok. And, you know what? I'm gonna even turn off TikTok.
Ryaga Samurai.
TikTok short, YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
I'll just turn it off. Oh. Not real point anymore. There's no point. There's really no point. Just defeats all the purpose.
That, although deals with veganism, it's a type of manga that everyone can enjoy. Highly recommend if you're looking to be slightly scarred for the rest of your life, as it does not hold back on any means of anything. The next series, in my opinion, deserves a lot more attention, and that is the manhwa Gigi Gigi Goi Goi. A manhwa that's filled with unique short stories that always has a hook in each chapter that just keeps you hooked. I have personally reread this series dozens of times because I just love how original it is and how you can just never really predict the ending. Gigi Goi Goi isn't the type of horror stories that you've ever experienced before due to the author's creativity, and at the end of each chapter leaving you with a lot of unsettled feelings. One of the short stories that made me feel unsettled was one called The Teleporter, where a guy had a family heirloom that let him teleport wherever the second teleporter was placed. So if I had one in my hand and set one in another place, then I pressed the button on the one I had in my hand, it would teleport me to where I placed the other one. He uses the button to rob a jewelry store and gains the money to send his girlfriend to a trip to Paris, as long as she brings the other teleport button with her, so he can teleport to her when he wants to. So eventually she has an affair with a Frenchman, and the main lead finds out and calls her saying he's going to transport to her. But she immediately flushes the second transporter down the toilet. After she flushes it, we begin to see some blood and one of his eyeballs appear in the toilet bowl. For some reason, the story, although tame, really stuck with me.
Women. Woman moment. That's a woman moment right there. You can't tell me. Oh, man. Oh, my God. That's a woman moment. You know how that thing works, and you put it in the toilet.
LOL.
My God. He's an idiot. He should have never let her know that he had that ability to do that. Or even have that. I don't care that's your girlfriend. That was something that should have been kept between you and your family. That was dumb. Very stupid. Woman moment.
Ryaga Samurai. Am I right, boys?
Jesus Christ. Like, when you see that, like, I just thought, like, when that happened, what popped in my head was the meme from TF2. Women.
Because after I read and saw the final panel of his eyeball and his blood seeping through the toilet bowl, it really made me start thinking of how painful of a death that really could have been. Having your entire body crushed by toilet pipes and seeing the panel of it is just having your body slowly crushed where pieces slowly keep coming up. It's just... The horror used in Gigi Goi Goi isn't your usual ghost murder mystery story where things pop out or the characters are being hunted, but rather innovative tales of each person that bears no similarity to previous chapters, besides the feeling of being greatly uncomfortable. Definitely recommend this if you're looking for a breath of fresh air in the horror genre and you like short stories. The next series I want to talk about is one that I finished fairly recently after putting it off for many years, and that is Shiki. And man, oof. Shiki is downright one of the best, most amazing manga I've ever read.
I don't know, maybe the manga's better, but like, me and my girlfriend tried to watch that, and it's not like it's disturbing or anything, it just felt really boring to watch. I don't know if it's just me. I'm that guy, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it was boring for me to watch. I watched it on the anime, I think we halfway left, like, we didn't even finish the whole thing, honestly. I tried to, but I just couldn't get past, like, episode, like, I think it was 12 or 15, where everyone's kind of figuring out, like, the vampire thing is happening, or at least the undead. I think they're undead, or, like, they're vampires or something. It's like, or ghouls, or something between, somewhere in between, but, like, Jesus.
When it comes to perspective reversal. Story about a town that is soon swept with an illness that can affect the young and old, that will eventually make them die. Later, it becomes known that the people who died of this illness had the possibility to be revived as Shiki.
No matter what type of severe asthma you have, Tespire can help
Riot
you have
Das
fewer
Samurai.
attacks.
Wait a minute, is it that anime with the girl with pink hair and black eyes?
Yep. Yep-roonies.
Otherwise known as vampires. I don't really like the vampire genre as it seems very cliche with...
I didn't really see them as vampires. I kind of thought they were like ghouls. I think that was the best interpretation of this was, because they didn't come off as quote unquote vampires. It felt like, I don't know what Mr. America. It just felt kind of
vampires always needing to suck people's blood, and that's really all they do story-wise. However, Shiki quickly proved me wrong. A wonderful vampire manga about vampires who have a plan to change humanity, but instead send the village slowly into insanity. I love Shiki's horror elements due to how clever it is, by making you care about every single character and then seeing them slowly transform into something awful. Admittedly, it's kind of hard to go into detail about that without ruining the ending, so I'm being as vague as possible with it because I want you guys to go and watch this. Shiki's horror elements let you see slowly that the scary things happening to the people, such as waking up in an enclosed coffin underground or seeing your village peers being picked off one by an unknown illness, aren't in reality the scariest thing, but rather the fight against insanity and evil. I am also aware that there's an anime adaptation of Shiki, and although I haven't watched it, I highly recommend you just go read the manga or the original novel even, as to me nothing can really compare. So especially read this if you're looking for a manga that will really make you think. The last manga I will be talking about is very hard to pinpoint, so I am just going to be talking about all of the author's work in general. And that is, of course, the author Junji Ito. Junji Ito is one of the most famous mangakas in the horror genre due to how unsettling his drawings are and how downright creepy his stories are. His seemingly most well-known story, Uzumaki, definitely left me with a lot of feelings of unease, and I still can't look at spirals the same way. However, I want to delve deeper into all the rest of his other stories. And although he has created some other rather longer length series such as Tomie, Gyo, and of course Uzumaki, his specialty is also short stories. Because they're so short, he can explore an idea so deeply without any of the theatrics, yet it still leaves you cringing in your seat. One such story that made me feel that way was one of his newest short stories called Layers of Fear. A girl's father finds a layered ruin of a corpse that is found to be cursed after his daughter loses part of her face, only to reveal she herself has another layer of her face under the skin that is peeled off. We come to find out that each skin layer is a layer of each year of her life. So the more she peels off, the younger she looks. Junji is a genius at adding unsettling art to add to the horror of his story. And Layers of Fear is no exception. Seeing the girl's multiple teeth as well as the girl's skin ripped off adds to the anxiety of seeing that they are being cursed. This concept can be applied to all of his works, so it's very hard to pinpoint which one that you should read, because I just say go read all of them. Junji Ito is a horror creator that I recommend to those who are not just looking for horror, but also to be deeply perturbed. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoy your Halloween as well as read the manga I suggested. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow me on all of my other social medias. So that being said, happy Halloween!
Okay, click that stop. Oh my god. Anyway, this was Cindy. Sin Snap. Like, subscribe, share, follow, comment. I hope you guys enjoyed her commentary. She did a pretty good job. Just the beginning and the end just really upsets me. But anyway. Oh god, that high pitchedness. Okay. God. I'll see you guys in the
Ryaga
next one.
Samurai. LMAO.